Friends, welcome back to the shop. Today we are going to add a router table extension to the table saw with a new router lift from our friends at Old School, as well as a new Bosch router from our friends over at Lowe's. Without further ado, let's give this an upgrade. All right, one of the first steps we need to do before we can install this is to take off the protective greasing. I've already cleaned a little bit of the top off, but I have some of these nooks and crannies. So let's clean off the cast iron and then we will get to assessing the installation. Okay, now that it's all cleaned of the protective grease, let's try and line it up with the table saw. It says to use 2 people and have 1 person hold it, but I think I'm gonna use my adjustable workbench. I'm gonna maneuver it off to the edge and then see if I can line it up with the adjustable workbench right to where the holes line up with the table saw. In theory, this should work. Let's give it a go. Okay, the 4 holes on the back of the extension table line up perfectly with the 4 holes on the table saw. However, the side rail that holds the fence does not line up. It does say in the instructions that you can drill holes through the cast iron table. I think that's a little excessive, but I did pick up a heavy duty 5/16 drill bit so that I can drill 2 new holes through the back of this because I feel like I can replace this easier than this. So I've lined it up, I've made my marks. Let's go ahead and drill out some holes and see if it lines up from there. I put a little dab of this Spider Mac Blue goo. It's like a thick paste. It helps just really ease right through that metal. So now I got 1 more to go. We'll leave it to me to not follow instructions. The first step, other than cleaning it before installing it, it says to take off your table saw fence and the rail that holds the fence. And I figured that I was gonna be able to just slide it in and mount from all the sides. However, the channel right over here, you need to slide the screws in ahead of time and then, you know, access it from there, which means this does need to come off. I had already mounted everything and then realized that. So learn from me, follow the instructions. You do need to take this off. So with that said, I got my Weehaw Allen keys out and I'm just going along and removing this rail for the fence. And then we'll get back to it. Well, I ended up having to drill 2 new holes that were a little lower so that it lines up with the table saw track. So I still have 1 more hole to drill. Let's get to it and then it should all line up and we're back on track. Oh, beautiful. Okay, this time I'm gonna actually follow the instructions, even though this is pretty straightforward. Your girl likes to skip steps. So this time I'm gonna read the instructions thoroughly while I install this, but let's break into the new router and install the router to the plate, and then we'll install it to the new table. Oh, and a big thank you to our friends at Lowe's for providing the Bosch 2¼ horsepower router that we're gonna install in the lift. I'll be sure to link this product in the description, but let's unbox it and install it into the lift. All right, first step says to unlock this bad boy. And get this guy clockwise. We're almost there. Okay, we're maxed out. Cool. Now it says flip it over. Bada boom, bada bang. Okay, so we're loosening these. I don't know how loose, but that seems about right. Okay, it says loosen the brass knob and then move this plate to the bottom. So that's that. We're gonna place the router motor into the carriage. But first I need to take this off. So, okay, set that aside. Grab our motor and then let's insert it. Tighten that down. Tighten that back up. Set screws. Cool. Okay. Now, I think we flip it over and all right, now that the router table is fully installed, let's put together the Old School router table fence. Well, friends, there she is, the new addition to the shop. I'm so pumped be able to have a router table built into the table saw. And I have some fun projects coming up that we're gonna put this bad boy to use. Huge shout out again to our friends over at Old School for providing the extension, the lift, and the fence, and to our friends over at Lowe's for providing the Bosch router. And until next time, friends, when we do another fun project together or an upgrade to the shop.